how many of you would go to the Rolling Stones concert and be satisfied if they didn't play Satisfaction?
Exactly.
And how many times have you heard Satisfaction? Yeah, play the hits. If you're a speaker, play the hits.
How do you deliver a memorable keynote presentation? I'm here with David Meltzer, my media mentor. This is Digital Hospitality. My name's Shawn Walchef. David Meltzer is going to be delivering a keynote presentation at the Restaurant Transformation Festival in San Diego, my hometown, for Restaurant 365. I've been doing Restaurant 365 events, covering the events, using what David has taught me about the stage theory, podcasting from these shows, and sharing insights from industry experts. Tony Smith, he is the CEO of Restaurant 365. They're incredible partners in what they're doing for the financial reporting side of restaurants. I'm very excited that David's going to keynote. I'm also getting ready for next week. I'm going to Las Vegas. I will be giving a keynote on storytelling, and I'm very excited to share this episode because David is going to teach me inside how to deliver a memorable keynote. Number one, David, what was the worst keynote you've ever given? Tell me a story.
The worst keynote that I've ever given. I learn from all of them. So it's difficult to say which one I learned the least from. For me, I think, actually, I know the worst one. Thank you for asking. This is awesome. No one's ever asked me that. So I did a keynote early on. And early on, you always have the mistake of thinking, because 10% of the people resonate with you no matter what, thinking that you're great, and you're not. That you're not. And so I thought I was this amazing speaker. I was making, at that time, about 10 grand. I got hired by this company to do 6 speeches during the year. And I think it was 10 or 12 grand each, which was a pretty big deal. And so I created this speech that was dramatic and climatic, that went through bragging about how rich I was. And then having this innuendo of, and then I lost everything, right? And then I would go into what I'm going to teach you about speaking, lessons and stories, and how to utilize lessons and stories and to effectuate helping people do, say, think, feel, and what most people don't think about, believe. And so, Maya Angelou and everybody tells you it's how you make them feel, but it's also, they'll remember how they felt, but they'll especially remember if you can change what they believe. Now, as a foreshadowing of what we're going to teach, this was awesome because I get on stage and I give this, amazing Dave Meltzer speech. And I end up getting a call afterwards saying, we're not going to be continuing with the other 5 speeches. Oh. Look at that face. Yeah. And Bradley was with me at the time. And we looked at the reviews, and there's 2 things that I did that I didn't understand that I do now. One, not only did I, give this whole, build up thing. Well, what happened was a lot of the people just turned me off. So there was actually people that said, what an arrogant F. All he did was brag. Well, that was like literally the first 5 minutes to set up all the humility, vulnerability, and transparency that I wanted to teach. But they turned me off, so none of it mattered. And I'm like, what stage? And the ones that hung on, 5 stars, brilliant, I would hire him. But I also, at that time, and it was a very sensitive time, if you remember back when very heavy into the Me Too movement. And so I had some things to unlearn of, everybody knows me. I'm a mama's boy. I can't hardly talk about my mom without crying. But I said a few things about my mom. I don't even know what I said that were offensive. Like people didn't even think I loved my mom. Like they thought that I was.
That doesn't sound like the Dave I know.
Yeah. And it was also the people that turned me off because I think I made a joke about my mom about, which I do about like, my mom doesn't know about business. Why would I, she thought the internet was a fad. And she told me, right.
You still use that, but
Yeah,
it's
I do it.
it's a much different context.
Right. And in a different audience, in a different energy, in a different time. So that was the worst speech. Only time I've ever been pretty much fired from 5 speeches. But it leads to the lessons of teaching people to do, say, think, feel, which everybody that is a real keynote knows we want to make them feel a certain way. But I don't think everybody's aligned with Napoleon Hill and I in that idea of, can you change a belief? If you can, they're a fan for life.
How do you align with a new company that you're working with to learn about their audience before you start preparing for the keynote that you're going to give?
So that's a really interesting thing. I just want to know the categorization of the audience. How many people and what do they do? Because I really don't care. You can't understand what people feel and believe. And so for me, I can speak in front of anyone. Like if it's engineers, if it's 17-year-olds, I want to know that. But beyond that, they don't know their audience to the level that I'm going to resonate with their audience. And so during my speech, I set up how to make sure they're paying attention in the right way. What do? I start most of my speeches in this type of format. 365, for example, the RTF, the Restaurant Transformation Festival, by the way, very intentional about the word festival. Love Tony Smith, love Restaurant 365. Anybody that can make accounting fun and profitable, I'm all over it. And these guys have done it for years, which is probably why you're a good partner of theirs, helping them in that respect as well. But here's what I say, Shawn. Hey, I get a $1,200 bill every month reminding me how and what to do when I speak. And what do you mean? I'm like, I have bankers boxes full of notes from undergrad, grad school, law school, business school, personal development, Tony Robbins, Wade Dyer. I have all these notes because I was one of those dudes that wrote down everything.
Yeah.
I wrote down everything. And then most of you will write down nothing. And guess what? The only difference between the two people of what they're going to learn today is a $1,200 banker box bill in storage in California.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is I only want you to capture that which resonates with you, that which is touching the way you feel. Your intuition is elevating your awareness and maybe and possibly even change a belief. Change your course, your divine direction, a detour that will protect you, promote you, love, and perfect you. I want you just to capture what resonates with you. Now, hold on one second, because most people are thinking what resonates with me is what I agree with. So, for example, I was at an event and someone said to me, David, you're either humble or you're about to be. And that dropped me to my knees, and I immediately texted myself in that respect. But what I really am challenging you to do when it comes to feelings and beliefs is when you disagree, when you're like, man, that is stupid. Dave Meltzer's an idiot. I'm on fire, man. That if there's any time that I say something that you don't like or love about what you love, or you may even hate it about what you love, I want you to do the exact same thing. And then afterwards, I want you to explore why you feel and believe so harshly about it. Because when you leave here, I want to make you feel and believe in a way that will make you and get you to where you want to be or better.
Share the process. Do you use slides? What do
Never.
you put on slides? No
Never.
slides?
Never.
Explain.
So I have one slide that will stick up there to capture the audience. So I have their information to give them a free book or an exercise guide according to what I'm teaching. But for me, the slides, especially today, are distracting. What I'd rather do is put one slide up there and say, hey, look, I'll send you a presentation. I'll send you a replay of the video. I'll send you an extra guide training on this. just use the QR code on that screen behind me, or email me, david@dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com. And so I know how distracting slides can be. Now, the only thing I do that may be different because I can't afford a warm-up crew like Motley Crue or Ozzy Osbourne or whoever. I can't afford a warm-up band, is I have a 3-minute inspirational video to set the stage before I get on stage. And one of the key components, because I'm using that as a warm-up band, right? It's warming them up. It's emotionally educating them on who I am much more than the bio. Why? Because they are now establishing feelings and beliefs about me in a visual, audio, energetic state. Now, the only danger of using a video is the awkwardness of transitioning from the video to the bio or to you. So you need to make sure that, one, you have been annoying to the people backstage about the video and annoying to the MC who's introducing you, because the only thing that you want them to say is, now, welcome to the stage, David Meltzer.
Nothing else.
I never.
You don't need to be reintroduced.
Yeah. Look. I like them when they read my bio and then play the video and then say, welcome to the stage, because that would give the full context of feeling and believing who David Meltzer is, so he can move you and hopefully start, at least catalytically, a movement in you of a different belief.
Bring me inside the editing of this. Why 3 minutes? Do you voice over? What do you what story do you tell? Is it the same video every time?
No, so I have two speaking intro warm-up videos. One is persistence and one is consistency. One is persistence and one is inspiration. I forget the name of it. So they're two different ones according to the choice of the people who have hired me.
Yep.
And so 3 minutes, because I'm only using it on speeches that are 20 minutes or more.
Got it.
So it takes up that time. Now, some people, depending on how they hire me, they count it in the 20 minutes or they don't. Either way is fine with me. I just need to know how much time I'm going to be on stage. I'm a time freak, so I can pick how many lessons I'm going to teach and stories I'm going to tell, add it to my intro and conclusion, so I never have to prepare for a speech. It drives my associates crazy that I can sit behind stage. You know, Jesse Itzler was at Aspire with me. I'm blessed to be on the Aspire business tour. We'll be in Secaucus next, New Jersey.
Aspire is amazing.
Me.
David, I have watched David from stage at Aspire, Jesse Itzler, everyone on the entire team. If there's an Aspire event, I highly recommend booking it just to see David Meltzer, meet him in real life, and go to his meetups, because he does meetups wherever he's at the Aspire tour.
Yeah, we do lunches, VIP dinners, meetups, holding courts, interviews, and of course the keynote on the main stage. But Itzler's backstage. He's like, "Hey, Dave, what are you talking about?" And I literally had to look to Nick, my superstar, and Nick's like, leadership or real estate or whatever. And he laughed. He goes, "Well, when are you on?" And, backstage there's a clock that shows you how much time's left for the speaker that's before you. Jesse has been studying, and he does the same speech. And it's probably one of my favorite speeches in the world.
It's amazing.
As a DJ. His speech is a full performance.
It's a full performance.
Right. I'm like Woody Allen up there, old school, one slide. I don't like to go right after Jesse because I don't like that type of comparison, because I'm not high tech. But yeah, he's like studying for 4 hours. And I don't know, because all I need to know is, I got 20 minutes and what the topic is, 4,000 entrepreneurs. That's all I need to know. Mm-hmm. And if they're going to do the video or not, which they do. And then I get on stage and use my 20, 25 or 30 minutes, whatever they give me at Aspire, to give an intro, like one that I just suggested about storage. Banker's Bach is do, say, think, feel, and believe, setting up the lessons and the stories, and then always summarize, right? Always summarize. Now, one other trick in speaking, because I love to be on time. I think people appreciate when they're giving an event if you're the one to keep them on time, even if they're running behind. If you're ending right at 0:00 and you don't go into the red on the timer, it's important. So what I do to make sure I end right on time is I set up my speech and stories and conclusions so I can end it short and I know what my tagline is. Or if I've spoke too quickly because I got excited, then I always have an additional story to fill up the time, one in which I could tell the story in 10 seconds, 30 seconds, or 3 minutes, depending how off I am on the time. And so always have that additional content in order to fulfill your obligation and representation of how much time you're going to take on stage. Because one of the things that makes people feel that you're a great speaker from the internal side and makes them believe you're a great speaker from the inside is being the only speaker that was right on time.
Before I let you go, let's talk about the value of lessons and stories. Why is it as important as it is? I mean, number one, I'm so excited that Restaurant 365 is having you on to Keynote. As you know, I travel the entire United States, going to conferences, trade shows. I speak, but so many times event organizers aren't booking people like David Meltzer. Obviously, there's only one David Meltzer, but there are people that understand lessons and stories in ways that no one wants to go to a trade show or a conference and see a deck and a demo. No one wants to go I've never come back and go, what an amazing panel. What an amazing panel where 5 people had the microphone and, each person had 3 minutes to talk. It's never been that. So book keynote speakers that know what they're doing, that can lean into lessons and stories.
That's a great point. And look, panels are great to be on because you can step out of a panel and tell a lesson or a story and then utilize that content just as you would a keynote post-production. But true, experientially and business development wise, a keynote is going to let people learn how to do, say, think, feel, and believe in alignment with their divine direction. Lessons and stories are the history of how people learn. All from thousands. What do you think the Bible is?
Yeah.
What do you think the Bible is? What do you think from the inception of Sanskrit? One of the first lessons and stories is in Sanskrit, the rules of being human. And there's, depending on who's interpreted it, 10 to 12 rules about being human that are probably some of the poets. Look at the Tao, which means the way. Lao Tzu in the Tao, in the way, it's 81 verses. What are those verses? Lessons and stories. Hieroglyphics, lessons and stories. Frescoes, lessons and stories. This is how people learn. Lessons and stories. Now, there are some lessons about lessons and stories, and one of them is you still need to be annoying when you're telling your lessons and stories. And when David Meltzer, who wants to be one of the most annoying people to the people he loves especially and cares about, that means I'm repetitive and I'm honest. And if you're afraid of telling the same story because you have 10 videos of you telling the same story and you've been on 100 stages telling the same story, you're a moron. I don't know. See, now I'm going to offend someone because I use the word moron, but I don't mean it in that way. I mean, you're not understanding what I'm saying because, think about these things about repetitive. A little kid, if you're a dad or a grandpa or a grandma or a mom, how many times your kids when they're little say, read it again, read it again. What? You've heard this 1,000 times. Let me watch Aladdin again. You've watched Aladdin 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
How many of you would go to the Rolling Stones concert and be satisfied if they didn't play Satisfaction? Exactly. And how many times have you heard Satisfaction? Yeah, play the hits. If you're a speaker, play the hits. Yeah. Learn and practice telling stories, teaching lessons. That's how human beings do, say, think, feel, and believe. And that alignment is going to get you hired, rehired, and amplified and perpetuated to be hired again.
This is David Meltzer. He's speaking at the Restaurant 365 Transformation Festival in San Diego. I will be there. David will be there. All the best restaurateurs in the entire country will be there. I can't wait for it. Please go to Digital Hospitality, to the podcast. All of my coaching calls live with David Meltzer are recorded because of the stage theory. So they are there as a repository for you to learn all of the things that I've learned along the way. David, obviously people can reach out to you, people can get your book, anything. Friday trainings?
I got Wednesday training, Friday training, live every day. My books, exercises, guides. Come and see me in San Diego at the RTF, the Restaurant Transformation Festival. I'm going to be at SoFi. We have a mastermind at SoFi with the Chargers and Rams. We have another SoFi mastermind. Come and follow me on the Aspire Tour, Secaucus. I'm going to be in Puerto Rico. If you're down there, meetup interview next week down in Puerto Rico, keynoting down there. All you got to do is email me. That's why we pin it below. David@dmeltzer.com. David@dmeltzer.com in the show notes. I want to thank Shawn because he is someone who is a huge student, but also supporter. And you need more people who are looking out for you that are, as we do, we buy from each other and sell for each other for life. Ideas, thoughts, actions, words, belief, whatever it is. Be the show, not the commercial. That's what my boy Shawn has learned. And thank you, Shawn, for getting me involved with Restaurant 360, September 21st through 23rd at the Marriott Marquis down at the harbor in San Diego, our hometown. Come and join us. We love to see you there.
As always, stay curious, get involved, and don't be afraid to ask for help. We'll catch you guys next episode. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you've made it this long, you are part of the community. You're part of the tribe. We can't do this alone. We started, no one was listening. Now we have a community of digital hospitality leaders all over the globe. Please check out our new series called Restaurant Technology Substack. It's a Substack newsletter. It's free. It's some of our deep work on the best technology for restaurants. Also, go to YouTube and subscribe to Cali Barbecue Media. Cali BBQ Media on YouTube. We've been putting out a lot of new original content. Hopefully you guys like that content. If you want to work with us, go to betheshow.media. We show up all over the United States, some international countries. We would love to work with you and your growing brand on digital storytelling. You can reach out to me anytime at Shawn P. Walchef on Instagram. I'm weirdly available. Stay curious, get involved, and don't be afraid to ask for help. We'll catch you next episode.